Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go ahead and divert a little bit from my usual topic that I talk about. I want to talk a little bit about Islam. Now, there's a reason why I'm a Muslim. There's a reason why I'm a Muslim. The people who want you to hate Islam, you know what they hate more than Islam? It's a group of people who are not materialistic. With that being said, the reason why I said they really hate that is simply because they have been able to control the majority of the population here in America simply because of materialism. One thing you have noticed, or if you haven't noticed, is the fact that everybody is all about money. Everybody wants to be a YouTuber. They want to make quick cash. That's why you see young people growing up nowadays doing the most ridiculous thing that they can possibly think about on the internet. It's all about money. It's all about materialism. That's how these forces have been able to take over America. It's simply because nations also need materials, money. And so you have a special group of forces out there who obviously understand that human beings are always going to be in need of extra cash. They know that. So what do? They embed themselves in a society and then they give cash to you as a loan. But in return, you give them back, you pay them back in interest. And then this, of course, does what? It pushes you further and further into debt, and then you become enslaved to 0.001% of people on planet Earth. Islam comes and stops all of this. Islam comes and says, hey, do not deal in interest. You can chase money, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Islam says stop chasing money. No. But it doesn't want to be obsessed with materialism, because being obsessed with materialism, it makes you forget the main goal of life. That's the introduction. Let me go ahead and play this video for you guys, and then this girl's gonna tell you pretty much things that I haven't said because I don't want to spoil the whole thing. So let's get it.
The war on Islam is not about terrorism, it's about resistance to corruption. Christianity and Judaism were once radical traditions of justice and liberation and have since been fractured, revised, and repackaged to serve empire, but the Quran was preserved intact, recited, memorized, and passed down without revision. Islam doesn't get rewritten to serve the state. All three Abrahamic faiths come from the same God. Muslims simply believe that Isa, Jesus, was a prophet, not the son. But unlike Western Christianity, which often confuses wealth with blessing and empire with divine order, Islam resists the logic of consumerism and domination. Muslims don't drink, Muslims don't gamble, Muslims don't watch porn, and they don't chase profit at all costs. They aren't easy to sell to, and that makes them a threat, not because of violence, but because of discipline. What the US warns people about socialism, you won't have a home, you won't be able to take vacations, you'll lose your freedom. That's not socialism, it's capitalism. It's already happening. Meanwhile, Islam offers another model, a different rhythm of life, one that says protect the poor, reject excess, and remember God. That's why empire is at war with Islam, because it can't be bought.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, I couldn't have said it better myself. I learned something new today, ladies and gentlemen. So we understand that there's a special group of people, all right? Israel. I'm over here sounding like Kanye West. Rather, he said the Jews. You get what I'm saying, right? So there's a special group of people out there. They are behind the mass production of pornography that is going on, that is rampant in the United States. Places like OnlyFans. We know who's behind that. The biggest side of them all, the hub. We also know who's behind that. You start to connect the dots. You start to connect the dots, right? Now, what did I learn today? Did you know that porn is actually forbidden in Israel? Wait a minute. That's right. It's not allowed in Israel. I'm just like, dude, you can't make this up, bro. So these people are literally forcing this degenerate crap down the throat of Americans, and yet the steak that they love the most is forbidden there. Now you understand why Islam is a threat to these people? Anyways, next video.
Islam are women. And no, if I could even do a bigger eye roll, I would. Have you ever wondered why the majority of people who are converting to Islam are women? And no, if I could even do a bigger eye roll, I would. It's not just for their husbands. It's because we're starting to realize that what the world calls freedom is actually not freedom at all. We were sold the idea that being half naked was empowerment and seeking validation from men was okay, and that femininity, being feminine, was weak. But Islam, and I'm talking true Islam, doesn't ask women to be anything less than what they are. Islam encourages the world to respect women more. And the deeper you look into it, you'll realize that Islam doesn't oppress women. It liberates us from everything that ever did. And to be clear, I'm not talking about what some Muslim countries do in their own cultures. I'm talking about what Islam actually teaches. When you start to study Islam yourself, it starts to make a lot more sense. And to some of us, it actually just feels like home.
So yeah, she's not wrong. The majority of group of people who are actually converted to Islam are women. Now, the reason why I also included this video is because America, well, they like to emphasize the fact that Islam oppresses women. Or no, they tell women to cover up and stuff like that. And truth of the matter is this, okay? The reason why they tell females to uncover is because you guys are being used as a form of, well, you guys are being used. Let me just go ahead and put it that way. Okay. There was a meme out there. I don't know if it's Cinderella or whatever her name is. The girl that lost her shoes and then she was able to find love. Into this day and age, females are, well, they're completely butt naked selling their, the bunghole on the internet and they can't even find love. None of this has been criticized in the media. The government don't step up and say we have a problem of females opening their legs up for males to go ahead and, make extra cash off of that. They don't talk about the fact that a lot of women are also being depressed. They don't talk about the fact that females are really, really self-conscious when it comes to their body. And yeah, you have fake women out there who are portraying themselves to be real women, causing other women who are looking up to these girls to feel so, depressed because they can't seem to achieve the ideal body. All of this has a psychological effect on the mind of the females, but none of this is being talked about in the mainstream media. They don't talk about the damage that the females are causing to themselves in America because they want to go butt naked on the internet. Instead, they focus on what? They focus on the fact that Islam tells women to cover up because according to them, that's oppression. Females opening their legs on the internet, that's not oppression. That's called freedom, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and by the way, they're saying that that's the freedom that the Arabs are, they hate you for. It's the freedom for women to open their legs on the internet. Really? Anyways, yeah. Oh, and one thing that I do also want to say is that she is right about the fact that, you will come across videos in the Middle East where you will see a man doing some unspeakable thing to his wife on the side of the road and stuff like that. And one thing that I want to say is this. Islam and people are different. When you see somebody who is a Muslim doing something, you got to ask yourself, does Islam teach that? Does it? And if it doesn't, why are you putting the two together? It doesn't make any sense. It's the same thing with this, right? When a dumbass, somebody whose name is Muhammad, even though this person could be Christian or Buddhist or from the Jewish community, he can be from any group of people. As soon as his name is Muhammad, automatically is considered a T. Oh, this person did a T attack on this so and so because his name is Muhammad. And then later we end up finding out that he's not actually a T. That maybe, let's say he was a Christian. Now, What did they do when they found out that he was a Christian? Oh, this lone gunman went ahead. He was mentally ill. Oh, poor guy. He had no friends. Nothing motivated him. He was a lone person who went ahead and did this act by himself, and nobody motivated him. And then you read the manifesto, they go ahead and quote verses from the Bible and so on and so forth. But guess what? The damage is already done. They don't tell you about the manifesto and the reason why this person did it. After they've already blamed it on the Muslim, and everybody knows that it's not knows, but everybody believes that it's a Muslim, and then they blame you Muslim. Later down the line, 1 month later, oh, we're sorry. We didn't know that he wasn't a Muslim. You get what I'm saying? They want you to hate Islam. And the reason they want you to hate Islam is because the people who control you, the people who want to dumb you down, the people who are taking advantage of your wealth, the people who are making sure you work like a slave, the people who are making sure that you are in debt to them for the rest of your life, to where you can't even breathe because of the crippling debt that you're under because of because of college. You go to college and spend thousands of dollars with a degree that is worthless, aka gender study. You get what I'm saying? Those same exact people are the one that are telling you you should not like Islam. You should hate Islam. Those are the same people who are selling you alcohol, making you, well, I won't say make you, but promoting gambling, promoting the corn on the side, things that are pretty much destroying your life. The same people are the ones who pushing that are the same people that are telling you to hate Islam, because Islam goes against all of these ideas. And the most important one of them all, interest. The reason America is trillions of dollars in debt is because of interest. Every time Americans borrow money, the interest goes up. Interest is a form of slavery that has been around for thousands of years. That's why Christians ban it. That's why Muslims ban it. And guess what? The group of people who have not banned it, they don't even put interest on themselves because they understand the dangers of interest. They understand the dangers of it. That's why they say, hey, these people are not part of our community, so you can put interest on them, but not us. You don't touch us when it comes to interest, because they understand the dangers of interest. That's how they've been able to take over so many countries. I have been red pill to the max. I just want to go ahead and say that. The more I look into it, the more I'm just like, holy shit. It all connects. It all makes sense. Anyways, I hope you have learned something about Islam today. And I'll see you guys in the next video.